And this is a ability that will cross over when it evolves from coughing to wheezing.
Yes.
And which, frankly, makes it quite annoying.
However, one of the things we should mention, abilities, oddly enough, rarely change between evolution.
Rarely. It's usually in cases where the Pokemon is making a drastic change, is what I've noticed. And I'm not completely sure, but I believe there is actually a change between Magikarp and Gyarados, now that I remember. Because oftentimes, I believe Gyarados has a couple of different ones, but Gyarados' main ability is called Intimidate. It will actually lower your opponent's attack stat when it comes onto the field.
Correct. And Magikarp's ability,
I believe I think it's called Safe Swim or something like that. I believe it raises its speed when it's raining. I could be wrong about that.
Swift Swim.
Swift Swim.
Would be what we're thinking.
Swift Swim. I apologize, but we'll find that out shortly. But usually it's in cases where the Pokemon is making a drastic change. And I would call Magikarp to Gyarados a drastic change.
Slightly.
Slightly.
I'm going to probably really date myself here, but I'm going to say I remember the episode of Pokemon, the actual episode of the show, when James first got a Gyarados. Now, I know what you're thinking, James never had a Gyarados, but he did. It was the series of episodes that took place right before Island of the Giant Pokemon. Kakuna's evolving, so take a look. Pretty cool little animation. I love the evolution animations. But on the SSN, or the Saint Anne, as they called it in the show, James was conned into buying a rare, and I'm using finger quotes here, but you can't see, a rare Pokemon in a gold-plated Pokeball, which turned out to be a Magikarp. Well, after the Saint Anne, what's the word I'm looking for? Capsized. That's what it is. Saint Anne capsized, and they finally escaped on their little raft. Team Rock, James released his Gyarados and was extremely mad at it, and he kicked it into the water, which apparently was enough battle experience to cause it to evolve into a raging mad Gyarados to blast them out of the water.
And I do remember. I saw half of that episode. I do remember that.
All right, I'm going to take the Dome Fossil here because I have a thing for Kabuto and Kabutops. I think they're really cool.
And if you remember in Gold Silver, you can actually there's an area, I can't remember which area. It's near. It's somewhat near Goldenrod, I believe. You can actually put together these puzzles, basically, on these old...
Yes, the ruins of Alph.
Alph, that's correct. The ruins of Alph. And you can actually put together sliding stone panels, which will create the images of Kabuto and...
Ammonite.
Ammonite. All I could think of was Amistar, and I'm like, oh, that's the evolved form. But,
I'm trying to remember... There's some interesting things. Alright, these guys I may visit later in the game, depending on if I decide to remove my Mankey and put in either Hitmonchan or Hitmonlee. In place of having TMs for Mega Punch and Mega Kick, these guys will teach it to one Pokemon. You talk to them, and if you have a Pokemon able to use that move, they will only one time teach it Mega Punch or Mega Kick.
And the reason why they have these... teachers, if you will, is because the original TM list of Red, Blue, Yellow is different than the TM HM list that we currently have.
Indeed.
So what they
I believe in Red, Yellow, Blue there were 5 HMs. In this game there are 6.
And I know I'm mentioning it a lot, but in Ruby Sapphire there are actually 8.
Yes.
And part of the reason why I'm mentioning that so much is that shortly after our last series of videos, I went and started a file on my Ruby game, and I've been playing through that. But like we said, we have 6 in this one.
Yep. And and as we recap, there were 5 in the original. Now, Pokemon. We can see. We're going to switch bulbs toward the end here, put Pidgey up there. We are running levels 10, 10, 13, 13, and 14. We want to get to about at least 16, if not 20, before trying to take on Misty.
Now, with the original 5, is the new HM Rock Smash?
Yes, the original HMs in order were 01, Cut, 02, Fly, 03, Surf, 04, Strength, 05, Flash. And then this one we add 06, which is Rock Smash. And in Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald we had 07, which was Waterfall, and 08, which was Dive. And those are even different in Diamond and Pearl, I remember. So now you can see we are in Cerulean City. There's Misty's gym leader, the tomboyish mermaid. We're not going to take her on just yet. I'm actually more than less likely, considering our levels, going to pause the video. I'm not going to stop recording. I'm just going to pause, and we're going to come out to this patch of grass. I'll show you where we're going to be.
And I believe you can also find Jigglypuff in this patch of grass as well.
If not, we can always fly back to Mount Moon later and catch one. We'll off-screen the hunt and catch one on-screen for you if we need to. Or we may just, while I'm paused, look up the Jigglypuff conundrum. So, we'll see. In the meantime, let's see. We will pause the recording right here, and I'll do some off-screen leveling. For your benefit, we'll start the pause with a screenshot of what our team looks like. And when we come back, you'll have a screenshot of what our new team looks like. So, we'll see you in a little bit. Hey everybody, we're back. As you can see, the team isn't quite as leveled up as you might think it would be. But that's for a couple of reasons. The first and foremost of those reasons being, leveling by wild Pokemon takes a long time. I was honest to goodness, we were off screen for about 20 minutes, just running, even on throttling, running through the tall grass, and I only managed to get about equal 13s around. I have a 12 and a 14, but that's it. So what I'm going to try and do is, hopefully, using type advantage to my advantage, I'm going to try and power my way through the rival battle number 3 that's right here on this bridge, and then use these trainers as a level tool. As I stated before, trainer Pokemon are worth much more XP than wild Pokemon, so we have set up to try to use type advantages, but I'm not sure I'm going to get off enough hits to make them worthwhile. Pikachu is going to get its good hit on Pidgeotto. Even though he's named after my good friend, even though his namesake, my good friend Kiwi, is a smart trainer, I have to admit, Kiwi in the game is kind of stupid. When you have an advantage like his Pidgeotto has over my Pikachu, I wouldn't waste time with... Yeah, there we go. I was going to say I wouldn't waste time with Sand Attack. I would outright beat the crap out of myself.
Sand Attack is good in situations where you know you're in a bit of a sticky situation, and if you can at least get them to miss. Because if you can get them to miss once, that gives you a chance to use Sand Attack again. Therefore, it kind of puts them into a trap. So then you can keep using Sand Attack over and over again. They keep missing you until they get to the point where their accuracy won't lower anymore. They can barely hit anything. Their attacks are useless, and then you can pretty much defeat it with whatever you want.
Exactly. And that is a more than valid strategy, and I have employed that strategy before. I don't know if I will in this Let's Play, but I tend to employ more a strategy of type advantage where and whenever possible. I try and keep a mix of types on my team to fit any situation. As you can obviously see, my Pikachu was not up to the task of taking on something 5 levels higher than it, which is actually rather understandable. But my Mankey had absolutely no problem taking on that normal type Rata. Abra can only use Teleport, so it doesn't matter what Pokemon I put in, so I'm going to throw in my Beedrill to sting it to death. I was mentioning while we... Oh, okay, that answers our question. No. Poison Pokemon cannot be poisoned because Synchronize could not poison it.
Yep. Which reminds me of something else. We were talking about off screen, and we were looking at a few things. I was wrong before with saying that Beedrill was a bug flying type. It is not. It remains a bug poison type, which means it is affected by ground type moves.